Hello you beautiful people, welcome back to the Like Plays video. Today we are going to be talking about the brand new card coming out on Friday. So, let's jump into Scout. I have said Friday now, I've sort of committed to a date, but let's go to the borrow banner. You can see it does end on the 9th, which is, if I'm not wrong, and I shouldn't be wrong, the Friday. So it does end 3 AM on the Friday, which does mean around just after that, we should be getting our brand new character. Now, alongside the borrow, this event is also ending, so we should be getting a support character with it. So, let's make our prediction on who we think it's going to be, and what I think the stats are going to be. And of course, to do that, we are going to load up our good friend Game 8, and we're going to sort of cheat. So, the next character is guaranteed to be Kunigami, as we all know, and what a lot of players are going to have told you by now, if you are in any sort of community, is that this version of Kunigami is better than the borrow that we just received. But no one's going to tell you why. And I'm going to only be able to make a guess based on the information that I see in front of me and the information that I've been told. So hopefully we're going to make a near accurate guess as to why this is a cool looking Kunigami. Now, of course, the version on here has been buffed. So if we actually scroll down to the training cards, we can see that it's got some very funky cards. We are not going to be getting these cards. I'd be very excited if we got two black reds. Could you imagine we had a black red here and a black red there? That would be pretty unreal. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think we're going to get a black red, most likely an exercise machine. If we're lucky, we'll get it in the kick power. But I wouldn't mind either way. I'd take a black and a black red. Doesn't matter which order they're in. And then we should get maybe a red and a gold, most likely. That's probably the way this would work. What I do think is, though, the practice ability list is going to be the same. So I think the practice ability list that we currently have in front of us is going to be the released version of Kunigami. So we should get a boost to physical, and I think we will get a physical practice boost as well at 30%. I think that's pretty standard on a physical card. A kick bonus of 20% feels absolutely fine. It's exactly what Arya would have, like physical and kick. And then a special rate occurrence of 50%. Now, I think that's quite low. Personally, I think that's really low. I know other characters would give you 70, and I guess we're at that point where I'm looking for 70 as that base. So, is this card super good? Who knows? At 50, that feels a bit low. But that's okay, because again, it could still have the trifecta. I mean, you can see in front of you, it doesn't. But if it had the trifecta and it had 50, I'd be like, alright, cool. But again, now we go to lecture bonus, 25%. 35 really should be the minimum. The fact that they've taken 20% off there, 10% off here, it feels a little below the curve. So a lot of you are going to be like, well, Heikon, why is this card worth it? Right, exactly, good question. And this is where we're going to get to. Match bonus, 40%. And then we've got physical, 30%, and kick, 20%. Now, I think this card is worth it because we've got physical at 60%. We get 30% here, and then we get 30% at the bottom there as well. We also get 20% kick here, 20% kick here, so we get 40% kick bonus as well. So I think our base stats are absolutely just goated. I think it's a phenomenal card to train because it's got all these additional percentages. If you can get it to level 100, I actually think this card is going to be really good as a support. Because who else is offering you 40% kick and 60% physical? Now, 25% when you think about it isn't the worst thing, especially when your percentages are so much higher. And 50% rate up is pretty solid. If we have two black reds as well, this card is well worth it. This card is one of the best cards of the game all of a sudden. If we get one black red, this is still good. This is still a very good card. So, overall, I think this card is absolutely fine. I think if you're a whale, you're probably going to go to max it, especially if you're going to max the borrow. We can actually scroll down, have a look at its skill. So it's got direct head blast. When the skill is activated, it reduces the chance of your opponent team being blocked and increases your own chance of success. It also restores stamina to all teammates, which is quite cool. Sorry, hiccups. And as we scroll down, we're going to be able to see, forget the max skills, I want to see the training skills. I think that's the key. So it partners up well with the base Rio and with the Chigiri. So if you do take it with the Chigiri, you are going to get practice match bonus, which is so-so. We are going to talk about this card, so I'm not going to go into detail. We'll skip through that one. And then we've got some new cards coming out, which don't really bother me. Can we see anything with the borrow? And the answer is no. So it looks like there's no connection to the borrow, no connection to the Rio, no connection to the Nagi that we currently have. So you're going to sort of train him with nothing. So he doesn't actually give a connection either, which is a bit of a shame. But overall, I would say this card is probably a... If the stats come out like this, This is probably for whales to get it, because you're going to want it for both physical and for, kicking. And I think a lot of us are moving into these kick teams now. For free-to-play, I would try and get a couple of copies, 65 it maybe, and then just use it as a friend support where applicable. If you've got sort of good friend supports, or good support units as it is, you can then friend support it. I wouldn't break the bank for it. But yeah, that's my initial thought on this card. Now, the second card that's going to be coming out is, in fact, this one here. So, Kunigami does come with a Kunigami support card. As you can see, the evaluation from the website is really low. It is actually quite low, let's be real. But then that's, again, tuned to the JP server, so I'm not too worried. And the thing is, no one's been talking about this card at all. So this card's getting zero love on any of the forums right now as well. Like, any of the Discords that I'm on, no one's really talking about it. But I want to talk about it because I actually think this might be the secret OP card in this release. Because I don't know if this is true. I don't know if this is the actual stats that are going to be coming out. But if they are, this is insane. So, kick bonus 30% is absolutely fine. I mean, it is a kick boosting card. I think a 30% kick boosting card is beautiful. Now, if it really does come out with 70% lecture bonus, this is a phenomenal card. This is going to overtake Battlefields. It's going to be, I mean, 70% and 30% here is exactly what I would have wanted. But then this card goes one step further, and it gives me 70% lecture rate and 70% rate up. If this card has the trifecta, and truly has the trifecta, like all three of these at 70%, at level 100, this is a phenomenal card. This is one of the best cards in the game. And it also comes out with a 20% speed buff. Like, okay, you'll get rid of this, that's fair. You could probably get rid of this, that's fair. But outside of those two stats, I feel like the rest of this can be released as is. And this would just be a phenomenal card. In which case, then everyone should be going to max SSR. So, I think this is a phenomenal SSR if it comes out the way it does. We'll have to see on Friday, but definitely keep an eye on this one. I'm not going to tell you whether or not you should pull in this. I think the Kunigami speaks for itself. I think it's going to be a good card. This, if it's released in this manner, is going to be very strong. If this is the buffed form of this card, though, then this card, I can see why it's kind of mid. Because the stats are nice, but compared to what we have right now, these are very mid stats. So, it's interesting. And now you are going to also get speed and kick on this card, which is really cool. So, it's going to come with a speed boost and a kick boost. Again, feeding into this Rio and this Nagi that we've got. So, where we are building these speed comps, and we are building these kick comps. This is just another card that fits into that beautiful meta. So, it's going to be a card that you're probably going to want to max. Assuming the stats look like this. If they're nerfed versions of this, then it might not be a card you want to touch, because we already have cards in place that are just better. So, yeah, it'll be interesting for sure. And again, if we come down to partnerships, it does partner up with that Kunigami. It's most likely going to give us special training rate. It's going to give us some kick, some physical. It's going to be kind of nice. Now, later on, it does sort of partner up with other cards as well. We don't want to talk about them. They're way later in the release cycle. So, it is what it is. It is what it is. But there you are, boys. That is the two cards. That's the two sneak peeks that we're going to be having. Friday is the release. You're all going to be seeing this on Thursday. I've actually recorded it even a day before that. But there you are. So, yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that. Let me know. Go like and subscribe while you can, because why not? It lets me know that you guys are enjoying this content. And, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.